What if the Cowboys' biggest offseason battle has nothing to do with a rival, nothing to do with a playoff matchup, and nothing to do with the draft? What if the biggest battle is right inside the building, trying to keep one of their best offensive weapons fully bought in before the season even starts? Because that is exactly the feeling Adam Schefter threw into Cowboys Nation with that update. If George Pickens does not get a long-term deal, he is not signing the tag anytime soon. If he does not sign it, he is not at the facility. If he is not at the facility, then the offseason keeps moving without one of the biggest reasons this offense looked dangerous in 2025. And once you say it like that, whew, boy, now the whole thing feels a lot more serious. Because this is not just any player. This is not just another guy catching checkdowns and padding numbers. George Pickens walked into Dallas and immediately became one of the engines of the offense. The official Cowboys numbers tell you exactly how big that season was. 93 receptions, 1,429 yards, 9 touchdowns. That is major production. That is not a maybe. That is not a we'll see if it repeats. That is the kind of season that makes a player believe he deserves top-end money and makes a team realize it has a real decision on its hands. Yeah, and when you pair that with CeeDee Lamb and a Dak Prescott who, as the panel said, played really well a year ago, now you start seeing why they used the words Super Bowl contender. That's not fan fiction. That's what the ceiling looks like when this trio is working. Now, I actually appreciate that the discussion did not turn into lazy Cowboys bashing. Tim Hasselbeck gave Dallas real credit. He basically said this one is different. He didn't frame the team as cheap, he framed it as careful. And honestly, there is logic there. Pickens had a great year, but from the Cowboys' perspective, does one elite season in this system automatically mean you jump him into the top money tier at the position? That is a real question. Not an easy one, not a dumb one, and not one any front office should answer emotionally. So yes, Dallas has a case here. But here's where the whole thing gets dangerous. Football people know something contract spreadsheets don't always capture. Timing and psychology matter. If a player feels disrespected, if he stays away all spring, if he shows up late, if he's not physically where he needs to be, if every question around him is about money instead of football, that affects everything. The panel pointed out risks that are very real in these situations. Muscle pulls, hamstrings, soft tissue stuff, disgruntled attitude, free agency mindset. And once that enters the story, Dallas can't just say, well, technically we were right. The Cowboys need a solution, not just a principle. Whew. And that is why I think the most important line in the whole discussion might actually be the simplest one. This can be the difference between Dallas being a contender and not. Because teams at that level are already close. They're already talented. What knocks them down is usually not a lack of stars. It's friction, disruption, timing, chemistry. One unresolved mess that becomes 5 little problems by week 2. Haha, and Cowboys fans know all about that. That is why this cannot become another summer soap opera. This has to be managed right. Now, I will say this in Dallas's favor. The Cowboys have used the franchise tag before. They know the process, Dak has lived it, the organization understands the calendar, and Dak himself has already publicly spoken to Pickens after the tag about patience and perspective. That doesn't solve the issue, but it does tell you the team's leadership core understands how delicate this is. That matters a lot. Because if Dallas can keep the relationship strong while the money talks continue, then this thing can still end in the place Cowboys Nation wants. A motivated Pickens, a dangerous offense, and a season that still carries real expectations. So my verdict is this. Don't panic, but absolutely respect the risk. The Cowboys have every reason to be careful. Pickens has every reason to push. Both sides have logic. But if Dallas wants the version of itself that can really scare the NFC, then somehow, some way, this relationship has to stay healthy enough that the football doesn't get poisoned by the business. Cowboys Nation, tell me your truth. Are you worried this thing becomes a summer-long drama, or do you believe Jerry and Pickens still find a way to keep the offense special? Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and drop your take in the comments, because this George Pickens story is bigger than money now. It's about the entire feel of the Cowboys season.